Kanka amma astın suratını ya. Ne var oğlum, bir sonraki sınava hazırlanırsın.
Bir sonraki sınav kaç ay sonra abi? Hadi iş bulsam, çalışsam o zaman da sınava hazırlanamam.
Kanka bende olsa dükkan senin de. Bizde de durumları biliyorsun.
Yok abi ben ondan demedim de.
In the movie, as you see, the main character Tarık, we see only him, and the other characters just voices. And the main character Tarık always reacts the other people's behaviors and always defends himself, as you see. I think maybe the main problem in this context, main problem is we are thinking in political correctness also. We are always talking and thinking about the problems just outside of us. But we should focus on our problems, I think, our inner problems maybe, and also decisions. Because when I start to shoot this movie, I was thinking about it, and I talked with my writer. I told him it's a very common story, immigration, and in the end, there is a hopeless man we see, and he is trying to kill himself, trying to suicide. Uh, and I said to him, I think it is enough. No more movies like that. So we have to do this in a way that we show this kind of stories has to end, so we don't feed them for by people, as people. Uh, so uh, it's a common story, but I use migration for a base in my movie. So I trying to tell the story of Tarık in a different context, and I can say he is always trying to please the people, in his life. He is always trying to keep the relationship between them in a safe place. And for example, his girlfriend who lives in urban area, and the guy Tarık comes from the rural area. And for example, his girlfriend um, his girlfriend make this migration problem bigger for Tarık. Or
Right. Her life depends on him passing his exam.
Yes.
Their collective future will depend on him passing his exam. Is that what you're referring to by example?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
example. Or the landlord. He is a person who lives
Right,
in
the rent.
yeah,
By the
rent
sea.
by the sea. And uh, and in the end, the Tarık finds himself in a very big conflict, and I think he can't. I think he can't see himself just only him. Always his father, his background, his friends, his girlfriend, etc. Uh, so, so I think we should say it's a problem about human agency. I can say, maybe. We feed these problems while we are acting like that, while we are trying to please the people around us. Maybe I can say this.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm completely in agreement with where you're going on this, and that is that maybe this gas cylinder helped him to become more reflective, right? Because he's not looking on the outside so much; he's trying to create warmth for himself, or heat, or just his ability to focus. inward a little bit while he was lighting the gas cylinder. You know, I don't know. It's the idea of how do you become more sovereign and reflective on your own needs and your own uniqueness, and how do you express that without the judgment, without the shame and the guilt. And it's a big struggle in humanity right now. And, you know, I think this is a very beautiful film in the sense that the message you're trying to create. What has been the response on this out of curiosity? Have you been showcasing this in other films out of curiosity, film festivals?
Başka festivallerde gösterildi mi orada?
You are the first, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, we are a kind of late subscriber for this film. We made our subscription a little bit late, so you are the first one. Maybe I can say something about the gas cylinder.
Mm-hmm.
There is some reasons that we use gas cylinder. One of them is a kind of personal one. First, my writer came to me and say something about this story about the gas cylinder. I told him why you choose gas cylinder, the object. He said, as I know, he always use gas cylinder to to fire his charcoals to smoke shisha. And as he told me, I always find myself in a position between gas cylinder, charcoal, and me. You know, just like in the movie, we always see the gas cylinder between camera and the character, something like that. And I think he was wondering about himself while he is acting this. He is firing his charcoals and etc. And also, I always, maybe every day, use a gas cylinder, so it's a kind of personal one. But in the movie, maybe it's a small thing, small object, a gas cylinder, but it's a kind of like urban life, you know, heating, cooking,
Heat, warmth.
Yeah, warm, cooking, also lighting. So maybe it's an object to connect you to the urban life for the guy here. And as maybe you see, when he buy a new gas cylinder, a gas supplier tell him a number. This is your number. Next time you can order your gas cylinder with this number. Maybe we can see this number residence per. Sorry, I am trying to find the right word. Oturum izni nasıl diyeceğiz?
Residence permit.
It's a kind of like residence permit. You know the number.
Right. It's symbolizing his progression in his life in a way, becoming an adult, becoming a real man, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
In this case, right? He's a man now. He's got a cylinder. He's got his own room. He's got his girlfriend. He's studying what's next in his life. And it's providing him with some time to reflect on that. The idea of, I'm becoming my own man. You know, I'm becoming my own person. Yeah, I think I'm getting, I'm definitely getting where you're going with that.
But I think we can see the problem here, just like this. As you see, the gas cylinder is changing, has changed another color, you know, a new one, from blue to the gray. Maybe the character, name is Tarık, can change his own self. Maybe he can keep going on the urban. Maybe
he'll progress into a gold cylinder at some point in his life.
Yeah. Yes.
I want to get a little bit more into you. Turk did a great job, and so did the cat, and so did your filming was fantastic as well. So congratulations on that. And we're privileged to have you join us with this film in our festival. So thank you very much for that. And so you're aware, following the festival, we'll be showcasing your film through VOD, Video on Demand, which will be available for purchase for up to a 2 to 3 week period. So we'll be promoting this more now that we've had our conversation and so on. Tell us a little bit more about your high school. Like, how were you inspired? You've got your law degree, now you've got film and film degree and master's in arts and film. How did you get into film at a high school level? How were you inspired to do that?
Actually, I can say I came from a rural area, rural roots. I have some rural roots, and maybe while I was finishing my primary school, I came to Istanbul. I moved to Istanbul, and in high school, first I met with Akira Kurosawa, Tarkovsky, and some directors that I love very much in high school. Then I decided to shoot something because I was actually writing some stories, and we have also a circle in the high school. Every week we were watching some movies, and I decided to make some short films in the high school with my friends, and I made 2. Then in the university, while you finish the high school, especially in my country, everyone say you shouldn't make some things like movies or arts. Do them, just do these kind of things, but just for hobby. It's a common thing.
Right.
And maybe I choose the law faculty, but I have never been a lawyer. I was started to work in the movies, in some sets, while I am studying law at university. And also there are some festivals in my university, Crime and Punishment movie festival. And I started to also work in this festival. Then I met with my writer, and we decided to do some documentaries, etc. And lastly, 2 years ago, we decided to make our first feature film, and now we are working on it.
Is that Presumption?
Yeah, Presumption, right.
And you've got the support of the Turkish Ministry of Culture?
Yeah, right.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, it's a big deal, especially in Turkey. Maybe since 2 years ago, our economy is getting worse. So making a movie is getting harder.
Really?
Yeah, it's getting really harder. Because as you know, there is a mainstream, and they are also indie filmmakers. And when the economy getting worse, you can find less support in your country, especially. But we are keep trying to do our movie.
Wow. Well, congratulations for having gained support from the Ministry of, the Turkish Ministry of Culture. That is not an easy thing to do. So congratulations on that. And the work you've done to date, and for your bravery, your courage to stay focused, and notwithstanding the feelings of other people, to stay focused and to complete your projects, because this is a unique skill set that not many people have. And I feel that even transferring your know-how into an education environment, you might be teaching this in the future in a university, Hello, is that Tarek?
Yes.
I recognize you.
Hello, and how are you doing?
How's it going, Tarek? Thank you. Congratulations, and thank you for joining us. That's fantastic.
Thank you very much. You're so kind. And
Bilal
is the guy. He is the only one brave enough to quit law faculty and continue to make films.
Yeah, fantastic.
Here in a third world country, it takes very, very much courage,
Wow, so much courage, so much courage. I know, and he's very, very smart guy too. He's very, very smart. You can tell.
Thank you.
So, Tarek, how did he choose you? How were you able to connect with Bilal?
We were friends for about 15 years and very close friends. And at the same time, when you get close with a friend, you read same books, you watch same movies, and some kind of, how can I say, a cognitive alliance happens between the good friends. And So we decided to make our first movie, and we tried very hard. And taking the support of the government is not a very easy thing here.
No.
And how can I say, we are trying to feed our careers with short movies, and next year we will have another short movie, and after that in 2024 we are planning to shot another short movie, and till we arrive the time for our first feature movie, we are trying to feed our career with short movies. And we made a calculation, and for every one feature film, we try to make 3 short films with our own, resources.
Yeah, well, exactly. And, you're not only educating, from your home country, you're now in Toronto educating,
Yeah,
So
it's a very big deal for us.
That's a lot of influence. That's a lot of influence and power, actually, for all the right reasons. So hopefully you'll be able to leverage this experience to create more grants and investors in your work going forward, because now you're creating a relationship with another country.
Yes, of course.
A peaceful relationship. So I think, that is means a lot. That's very meaningful,
The Canadian people also known here with their, peaceful temper, and they are very friendly. And it means very much to us to be able to connect with you and see the professionals from the industry in the movies. And Turkey is a very small country, and we do not have much peers to talk about the indie movie making and find opportunities to create an income from our movies. But thank you very much for you guys for choosing us and giving the opportunity and also the experience. This is my first time talking to someone from cinema industry from Canada, and the Turkey is also known very close to Europe, but we are not in the game of the European film industry, and the new world, United States and Canada, it's very important for us, and happy to be here. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's our pleasure. It's our pleasure. Hey, where I think there could be a lot of power is getting the filmmakers connected to each other.
Yes.
Because now we're on our third day of screening the online films. We've already screened maybe 10 in a live theater, but it's the filmmakers that seem to be coming up with the common themes. The themes in their films have to do, no matter it's a different context, but it have to do with liberation and education. How do we become sovereign as a humanity, as a human being, sovereign in our thoughts? How do we identify our uniqueness, our skill sets? How do we get support for that? And how do we maximize our human potential? Whether it's talking about apartheid in South Africa, or it's talking about, Peruvian priest and who leaves his ministry and wants to actualize in a different way in life, or it's talking about, your film whereby, you're wanting to become more self-reflective to say, I'm okay with who I am and the path that I'm taking, and how do you get support for that? So there's a theme we're seeing here, and some of the filmmakers have been doing great work for a very long time, and it took them a while to get to where they are, but now they're getting significant support for their work, So for you, it's like, how do I do that? How do I create that? So one of the things I wanted to say then is that, Bilal, you've got VIP access, guest access to all the films now. Okay, so you can view all the films on VOD, or you can follow us with our screenings for the rest of this week. And, maybe there's an opportunity to introduce you to another filmmaker, from another country. We have 17 films, online films, 35% from the US, 25% from Canada, 12% from Europe, 12% from Eastern Europe, 12% from Latin America. That's a lot of differentiation,
Yeah.
You could probably learn a lot from them, and they could probably learn a lot from you. So, so I just wanted to put that out there. And I also think that, this is our first time using the Filmocracy platform, this online platform. We've used a different platform in the past, but there was a lot of development work required to the very last minute to get it to this place. And I think that's another opportunity for sharing your material is to be able to showcase it in an online theater as
Yeah.
well. I think it seems to be, where the path is going forward with film, definitely. And even from an education standpoint there are plenty of universities in Toronto alone, let alone across Canada, who would be interested in your work to showcase in their film and arts group with their youth, to film and to learn from your experience. So keep that in mind, because I'm keeping that in my mind. I do a lot of work with universities. I've been to 18 universities myself. So I can see where your work might fit in with their groups. Maybe they would pay you for your work at some point in time. Tell us a little bit. Maybe another 2 minutes. Tell us a little bit more about presumption. What is that about? What's your theme on presumption?
Oh, good question. Okay. Tarık has gone. I think he is the right.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
See you. Bye-bye. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Be good. Be good.
You be good too. Thank you.
Do good things.
In presumption, and there was a wedding before the movie. There was a wedding. Maybe first of all, I will start this thing. In presumption, the movie continues in maybe 1.5 hours, just in a house, and in the evening. Whose house this is? It's a family, Bastard family. And from this night, 7 months ago, there were a wedding party and, celebratory gunfires, while, in countries, some Balkan countries, and in Turkey and maybe some Arab countries, there is a tradition, celebratory gunfire. And in that wedding, it's an awkward tradition, but it still exists. In this wedding ceremony, the family lost his child. And after this wedding, after 7 months later, in the evening, a guy came to their house and told them, "I killed your son." But the police can't find anyone, investigations can't find anyone, and the family shocked, and then the movie starts. I can say the conflict starts actually, because they can't believe him first of all, and in the movie we discuss the act of killing in religious way, in ethic ways, in some cultural ways, sociological ways. We discuss all of these things, and we have 7 phone calls in the movie outside the house, for example, from a lawyer, a religious man, etc. And of course, he does not kill in purpose. Purpose. He does not kill in purpose. Of course, it's an accident. But the guy who said, "I killed your son," has big questions in his mind, actually. And for example, family tell him, "We can go to police." He said, "No, it is not the justice. I am looking for a justice without any normative things. We should find the justice just between us, the family and me." So maybe we questioned what is the real justice actually. How can we find out it in different circumstances, and etc. Maybe shortly this.
Fantastic. Very, very, very cool. Very super cool. Good luck with that project. And I know it must be a lot of work, but again, I'm very happy that you have the support of the Ministry of Turkey, the cultural ministry. That's not an easy thing to do. So that seems to me like a good sign for your future going forward. It must be a lot of pressure. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Bilal, to this, to your comments, to your insights, to the audience?
Thank you for this opportunity, and thanks again. And maybe I can say, the movie Get Out, maybe it seems very plain one, not some artistic frames. There aren't any artistic frames. Maybe a plain one, because Tarık and me, we really trying to do something that say his words just through the audience's brain. We don't want to attract them in some other ways. And
Right.
the story that we want to tell, we see lots of these kind of stories in our country and in the world, like Tarık's migration story in the movie. And I think the humanity don't have to see these kind of stories anymore, because as I told you in the beginning, the people feeds these dramas, I
Right.
think. So we have to take some responsibilities. Maybe we have to think about it, on it. Maybe these are my last words. Thank you, Anne.
Oh, thank you so much. You're a wise soul. You're wise for your age, I feel, and look forward to your material going forward. And thank you for keeping it authentic, too. I think authentic work will be more and more increasingly popular going forward, and especially since the pandemic. People are looking for new ways of living that are more authentic to how they really want to express themselves. So I think that your work is on track for that. And thank you very much for joining us from the beautiful city of Istanbul, Turkey. I think you're in Istanbul. I look forward to visiting Istanbul someday. And thank you for joining us.
We also want to visit Canada.
Yes, come visit us in
Yeah.
Toronto. Yes, it's a beautiful city. And don't forget, you have access to these other films now you can watch, and also your online video on demand version of your film will be available on our online portal through Filmocracy for a period of 2 weeks,
Great.
I think through to October 6th. So, please feel free to share that with your network. That's something that you should feel proud about, that, that now your film can be purchased on a site in Toronto, for a 2 to 3 week period. I think that's a cool thing. If I were you. Okay, so thank you very much. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Good luck with your project.
Okay,
And
thank you very much.
Just follow up with me if you need anything, okay? Thank you.
Okay, you are very kind. Thank you.
Bye. See you.
Bye.